Hi, this is Alessio, Rastani of Leading Trader. Hope you're well. I just want to give you a very quick update here on Bitcoin and show you what's happening here on these charts, and also take a look at the Elliott wave counts on Bitcoin and show you what the wave counts are telling us according to Elliott wave theory. Now, you may remember a few days ago, I posted a video which said, how low will Bitcoin go? And in that video, I showed you two downside projections based on geometry. And according to the first symmetrical projection, you will see that the first target was at 4,585, again, near the 4,500 level. And the one below that is at the 3,500 level. As a matter of fact, we have already hit the first target. I have to tell you, I'm a bit surprised that we hit the first target so quickly. I was expecting maybe we get there in about a week's time, but in fact, you can see the market decided to get there much more quicker within just a couple of days. And in fact, today, as I'm making this video, we're below the 4,500 level. Now, here's something important that I want to mention before I talk about the Elliott wave counts. Firstly, I noticed some comments from people when Bitcoin was over here, around about these levels. There were some comments from people saying, well, look, maybe this is a contrarian opportunity. Maybe we should be doing the opposite of everybody else and start loading up or going long on Bitcoin. Let me just say something very quickly about that because it's so important. There is a good time to be a contrarian, and there's also a bad time to be a contrarian. And knowing the difference is critical, because if you try to go against the market at the wrong time and be a contrarian, it could end up being really a disastrous situation. So let me just explain this point. Firstly, the reason why I disagreed with folks out there who said this is a contrarian opportunity is because of this. Notice the momentum on the pulse. When the pulse signal here fired, as you can see, when the red dots go to blue dots with downside momentum, the number one rule I've learned is never try to fight the momentum of the pulse. Trying to go against the momentum of a pulse signal is by far one of the most dangerous and risky things you can do. Why? Because the odds are against you. And of course, you can see since that pulse fired, the price of Bitcoin has continued to drop further lower. And one more thing as well, we should also note that the market structure has been broken. I mentioned this some time ago as well. When market structure gets broken, okay, beware, be very careful, because that essentially means the dynamics of the market are changing as well. But there is one thing I want to mention here, which is quite important. Notice that, in fact, RSI, this is the relative strength index on my chart. Right now, the RSI setting of 35, 30, 70, okay, that's a special setting that I use. Why? Because this is a very conservative setting of RSI that does not happen very often. And you can see the last time, let me just show you, the last time we had an oversold signal on the RSI 35 setting was back in January of 2015. Look at this. In January 2015, Bitcoin dropped quite heavily, hit an RSI oversold setting, again, same setting, 35, 30, 70. And notice what happened next. We had a very strong bounce. By the way, I'm not expecting a bounce like that on Bitcoin anytime soon. All right, but nonetheless, it is oversold. And what that means is this. It means we should be perhaps a little bit careful, because I think it's possible that we might see a little bit of a bounce coming on Bitcoin potentially soon, or perhaps a bit lower when we hit support. By the way, let me show you this. This is the chart on MT4, and this is the Elliott wave counts on Bitcoin. And these numbers you see here are our own Elliott wave indicator, which I'll be releasing very soon at the end of the month. Now, what Elliott wave theory is telling us is something interesting. It's saying to us that wave 5 very likely ended back in December of 2017. And since then, what we've been doing is tracing out 1, 2, 3 wave counts. Okay, so now we're at the start of wave 3. Let me show you. So let me bring this a bit closer, you can see this. So as you can see, since Bitcoin managed to break market structure, break below the support level of 6,000, it is now confirmed we are at just the start, the beginning of wave 3. Now, why is that important? Because according to Elliott wave theory, let me show you this. Elliott wave theory predicts that markets tend to trend in 5 waves. And wave 3 is usually the strongest and the most dynamic part of the trend. Okay? The one thing that's very dangerous to do is to fight the wave 3, because these wave 3s can often go significantly lower, especially in the downtrend. What that also means is this, that once wave 3 completes, we should see a very significant correction at wave 4, followed by yet another downward wave called a wave 5. And we're not even there yet. Right now, I believe that we're just at the start of this wave 3, which means we are potentially going to see significantly lower levels as we head towards the next few months. And what does that mean when we look at the charts? Well, let me show you. You can see this is just the start of wave 3. And here's something important you should know about the characteristic of a wave 3, which is that pullbacks in a wave 3. Now, as I said before, this market right now, Bitcoin is oversold, which means it is overdue for some kind of bounce, some kind of pullback. However, there is some bad news here. You see, in a wave 3, pullbacks, all right, so pullbacks or bounces are usually very shallow. That is one of the most important characteristics of wave 3s, which is that pullbacks or bounces are usually quite shallow or very small. So anybody out there who expects a much bigger bounce that goes back all the way maybe to 5,500 or 6,000, I think they'll be disappointed. I don't think that's going to happen. No. I think the far more likely situation is we'll see a bounce either near here or perhaps a bit lower near the 4,000 levels. And then the bounce or the pullback is likely to be quite shallow, quite small. And then we're going to see yet another wave, another strong wave of the continuation of wave 3 to the downside. And that means what? It means once this wave 3 continues lower, it means that we could potentially see the next symmetrical projection, which is going to be at 3,500, as according to the video I posted a few days ago. 3,500 or 3,577 is going to be our next target by the end of December or potentially by January. But then again, the markets could surprise us and get there perhaps a bit quicker, as we've seen already. So the best thing any person can do right now is protecting themselves against risk. In any case, guys, I hope this video has helped. And if it has, please give it a thumbs up. And also please subscribe for future videos. Thank you very much indeed. Bye for now.